on a Erie now, so that's good. And I'm ready to go finish the year strong. I'm sitting in 5th place for the Angler of the Year standings. First place, Ron Nelson's kind of running away with it. I don't know if anybody's gonna be able to catch him unless he broke down, but not wishing that on him. He's had an awesome season. I hope he keeps it up. And 2nd, 3rd, 4th, that's all up for grabs. That goal is to go catch them and stay in there. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe. All right, we're on to day 2 of the FLW Pro Circuit event. This was my best day of the tournament by far. So I took what I found in practice, and from day 1, and kind of just built this into each other, built upon itself. And if you go back and watch the first day in practice, you'll see kind of a little more what was going on. But so I pulled into my first area, first cast, didn't get one, second cast, throw up, catch like a 2-pounder, a little bigger. That was on the Z-Man jackhammer. That was on this one here. This is Man jackhammer. This is the color called Spot Remover. I got my Razor Shad trailer on there. It's a 3/8 ounce. And what I was doing, I was just throwing this up the edge of the eelgrass, and basically the fish were just staging there. There was current that was hitting this channel swing, and they would just be waiting there for it. This was my best area I found in practice. Caught probably 4 or 5 there. And I just kind of went up there and threw my favorite rod, Ardent reel, just rolling it right down the edge, and I caught that one right away. I worked my way up the rest of the edge where I had caught them in practice as well. It didn't get any more bites. I was a little bit shocked. I thought there would be a couple more there. But like I was saying in my other video, I was able to fish the morning bite. Day 1, we weren't able to get that morning bite in with the fog delay. So that kind of killed my chatterbait bite. So I caught that one, ran to my second spot, started working up the edge, just kind of fishing something similar. There wasn't as much eelgrass there. It was more just a hard line of like reedy, like marshy plants. And it was still 2-3 foot, rolling my jackhammer. Caught a 3 1/4 there, which is a good one that week on the Mississippi River. Same bait, just kind of working it right down the edge. Ended up working my way up this creek a little bit further. And then I picked up my, wherever it went. Here we go, give me a sec. Picked up my Hex, and I picked up my Z-Man Easy Tube. And what I was doing, I was flipping this. It's on a 1/2 ounce weight. It's EcoPro Tungsten. I was pegging it. That's not the type of peg on when I was going to shoot the video here, but it's on a Hayabusa 3.0 flipping hook. It's the HD version. It's FPP straight. And why I like that is because I was flipping back into this wood, and it was super strong. You don't have to worry about it bending out or anything. And those fish were eating little crayfish. They were eating a lot of shad too. So it just kind of fits that little profile that they were on. And I would just flip that back in there and kind of either let it go with the current, or a lot of times when you flipped it in there, as soon as it hit the bottom, they were biting and hooking it. So I flipped up under this tree. It's kind of overhanging on the current swing there. And I hooked this one, and it was a giant. I'm fighting it. I was about to boat flip this sucker, and I was like, I better not do that. It just wasn't, it was too big for up there. It was too valuable. I didn't want to risk losing it. And I scrambled, grabbed my net, and was able to put him in. It was a 4 1/4. Like I said, giant up there. So I had just caught a 4 1/4 and a 3 1/4 within probably 15 minutes of each other. And I was feeling good. I only caught 3 fish on day 1 for 6.5 pounds. And at this point I had, 7.5. I had 9 pounds with 3. So I was in really good shape. And I ran up to my next area. It was a little area that funneled down. There was a sandbar, and then I had another marshy area that had the current hitting it. And I started rolling my chatterbait up there, caught a one just over 14 inches, again on that Z-Man jackhammer and Spot Remover. So I was feeling good. Had 4 fish, had the rest of the day to try to fill out a limit, and I ran to where I'd caught them day 2. I flipped up a smallie, and then I flipped in there again and lost that smallie I was telling you about. I went there, actually didn't get a bite. I was kind of shocked. I really thought I was going to be able to pick one off there. Went and fished some other stuff that was good in practice. Nothing going. And then I get back to the tree that I had caught him on day 1 in the tournament of. I had caught a keeper and a short in it. And I went there and started flipping it, picking it apart, big laydown. And what I kind of picked up on from the end of the first day and into the second is this tube, when you get it in there, they either ate it as soon as it hit the bottom or you had to work it really slow out. And the swally seemed like more like if you work that thing real slow down there, kind of kept it bouncing around the limbs, down around the rock, in the current, they would eventually pick it up. So when I flipped in there and I'm working this thing over the rock, over the lay down, I could feel it in there. And I thought I got hung up at first on the lay down. So I kind of like popped it once, and you'll see in the video coming up here, I popped it again, and that's where I fell in pool. So I set the hook, and I had it pinned up against the limb. So I gave it a little bit of line. I started to go in there, and as I started to troll motor in, it must have probably scared it, swam out, and it came up jumping, and I fought it, and I boat flipped her in. It was a nice 2.5 pounder, which was another solid fish. Only smallmouth I caught on day 2 that I weighed in, but it was a good one. Then I moved up, kind of fished through a bunch of banks where I'd caught some the day before and in practice, nothing really going on there. And then I went back to where I started the morning, where I caught that 4 and the 3 pounder, thinking it was going to be, maybe there was just some quality in there. Maybe that was going to be key for getting those big bites. So I picked up my Z-Man. It's their new frog here. It's the walking frog. You can see it. In the package, just a 2 3/4 inch. It's called Black Knight was the one I was using. This is White Knight, but super awesome frog. As you can see up close here. It's pretty soft. It's got the body. It's got 2 good hooks in it. I trimmed the skirt up a little bit, but I was throwing this up and working the mats. There's duckweed that from the current that would get pushed into the pads or whatever is along the edge there, and it would make these little mats. So you just work a frog over it real slow. I caught one almost right away in there. It was a short or maybe 14-incher. Didn't help me for the day. And I threw in there and he blew up on it, popped my frog up, and I swung and missed. So I flipped back in there again with this, moved it a couple times, it came up and ate it. It was pretty cool. And then the second one, which ended up being not quite 2 1/4 pounds, I throw over there, and as soon as the sucker hits the water, it hits, and it must have been waiting right there and had his mouth open, because it hit, blew up, and I set the hook all in like one motion. And it called out the third fish fourth fish I had caught of the day on the chatterbait, a little 14 1/4 incher, and jumped me up another 1/2 pound. So that was great. At that point, I was starting to get a little bit worried about timing for getting back into lock 8. I had to be back. I was an early flight. I was about 16 or 17 day 2, and I was due back at 3:30. So at 1 o'clock I went there, and the barge was in there. Like, they got their first part of the barge through, but then they were getting the pushing part of it up there, and it was a whole mess. And they kept telling us it was going to be an hour, and it's going to be 20 minutes, and probably about an hour and a half later of waiting there, we finally got through. And I was getting a little bit worried that I was missing a lot of fishing time, but I couldn't risk not making it back. I had 14 pounds. I had 6 the first day, so I had me almost at 21 pounds for the 2 days, and I knew that would either be close to getting a check or get a check and get me some solid points. So, and it did. I went down to pool 8, never got another bite for the end of the day. I went through a frog a bunch. Actually, I caught a couple little ones, nothing that helped me, but that was just kind of how it went. I weighed in, and with that, it jumped me from 150th to 156th to 73rd. Was super happy about that. Saved probably my season for the points. Saved it for hopefully I'll make the championship, I believe, pretty much as long as I can. this yesterday would have been enough. But I should have said something, I guess.
That's a good one.
It's a really good one. He's not 3, probably 2 3/4.
Another good one,
That's
bud.
a big one.
Fuck yeah. Sorry to say that, but yeah.
That's a big one for here.
Tell me if you want a picture or anything. I'm more than willing to take them.
That's hard. Come on, B14. Tired. Come on, dude, stop.
Oh, yes, sir.
Nice. Right at you.
Yep, you go ahead. You can flip it in my lap if you got to. That's a nice swallow.
That's a good swallow, yeah. I was like pulling on it, like I thought I was stuck on a limb. Yes. That one will help you.
You just hit the water.
Instantly hit the water. That's how I need to eat them when they're frog fit when I'm frog fishing. Oh.
Did you get in on the help design? Ooh, never mind.
Wow, there's so many fat sizes here. I think that was a pike.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. He moved right before that. Oh, I slowed it down. He didn't hit it like a bass. I don't think. Like I said, I'm not a very good frogger fisherman, so. I thought I waited a second. Oh, it was a bass. Well, he's big enough.
Fat.
It's fat. Little chunk.
Mm-hmm. Sneaky guy. My dad calls those snot rockets. Yeah, I think he's coming out. That's what I think.
What time are you back? You do back at 3:30? You do 3:30? Here.
No, I know. Cool. That's the one thing that I know a lot of people mess up. They're not from around here is knowing how exactly to lock them.
Yeah. That's. I only ever locked through like 5 times in different places.
Yeah, these are real high tech compared to a lot of them.
Okay. Yeah, like the ones in West Virginia, we were on the Monongahela River. They were similar size to this. Maybe like 3/4 the size of this. But you would they would straight up open the gates to fill and close it.
Oh.
Dude, you would be like, it would be rushing. You had to hold onto the wall as hard as you could.
Really?
And it would be like spinning in circles and it was chaos. And they'd let you go through with the barge. If you could fit, they would stick you in there with it, and it was like 20 foot you went up and down.
Holy crap.
It was wild. That was the first one I had ever done. That's good. Yeah. No, that's a good system they got going. Thank you. Appreciate you dealing with.
To grab this one back here as well.
Yep.
So we have somebody on the bottom.
Dude.